Hi there, and welcome to Celeb Hut. Will Smith and Diddy. There are gossipy tidbits about a little something happening among Diddy and Will, and they've been circling for a really long time with cases of a subtle connection issue happening directly in front of us. Yet hang on close, since that is not even the most stunning part about this hurricane. Jaguar, Will, and Diddy were in good company in their capers. They purportedly elaborated young men, including Will's own child, Jaden. The connection between Will and Jaden has forever been exceptionally complicated, and as per Jaguar, this is only one piece of the riddle. She spilled all the tea in her new meeting about Will Smith. Diddy and Jaden additionally seems, by all accounts, to be upholding her on this since he was discovered on tape going off on his mother Jada for supposedly empowering Will to hurt him and failing to address it. The Smith family is more broken than we naturally suspect. In light of the fact that Jaden accompanied a ton of family tea, every one of these industry individuals realized that Diddy been behaving this way and doing this, and attempt to draw in different men into acts with him there. Was story that he was attempting to get Chris Brown. There's tales about, those young men that he had a gathering B5 or something to that effect, attempting to get them, It's a ton of stories this circumvents in this industry about not him others. So all of you know about how Might and Jada Smith have consistently flaunted about being the best guardians in Hollywood, right? Well, it seems like they could have overstated a piece. Sure, Jaden and Willow ended up odd overall yet, as per Jaguar right. Their prosperity probably won't be totally credited to Will, and Jada Jaguar isn't one to keep down. And you know this, yet this time she's spilling all the tea. She's not just getting down on Will and Jada as disappointing guardians, yet additionally recommending they've been to some degree unsafe. As per her, Will evidently offered Jaden to Diddy, and Jada was purportedly in the know. This could make sense of why Jaden's relationship with his people appears to be est in any event, driving him to look for liberation at age of 15. Presently, we must address the glaring issue at hand. Will and Jade's nurturing abilities, or a deficiency in that department now, is the right time to examine how they might have almost wrecked their children's lives since this discussion is extremely past due. How about we start it off with the way that Will and Jada don't precisely follow a nurturing playbook that they've been teaching about for quite a long time. They've professed to be against discipline and favor, giving Jaden and Willow their opportunity, as long as it doesn't blow up later. Well, in the 2013 meeting, Will broadly said we don't do discipline. The manner in which we manage our children is they are liable for their lives. Our idea is essentially as youthful as conceivable. Give them however much command over their lives as could reasonably be expected. So when they do things, you can do anything you need, as long as you can clarify for me why that was the correct thing to accomplish for your life. Currently in those days, this assertion created all in all a ruckus. Willow was only 13 and Jaden was 15. How about we be genuine? Teens aren't precisely known for their faultless thinking abilities. Many individuals felt Will and Jay were winging it as guardians, giving their children that much opportunity at such a young age, and history demonstrated that sort of nurturing seldom pays off anyway. It turns out Will could have exaggerated a tad about their needs. Way to deal with discipline, Willow spilled tea about her promotion dispensing. She frequently wound up in a difficult situation as a youngster, which was considerably more captivating. She uncovered that there was an orientation-based twofold norm among her and Jaden in their childhood, as per her. She confronted crueler results just in light of the fact that she was a young lady. She dropped these sentiments during an episode of Jada's scandalous syndicated program, the casual conversation about how dark mothers will treat their girls and their children graciously without a doubt. Wow. It would be like, you better outfit to me. It resemble goodness. No, school's gonna be, you better get dressed. We really want to get and it would resemble. I'd be in my room like, okay, I gotta get. However, at that point, Jaden is there. She resemble C, and Jaden was express unique to, and he'd resemble, perhaps 1 second. It certainly adds a contort to this entire account, doesn't it? However, Jada is continuing forever about how she's a women's activist, whatnot. Yet some way or another she was giving Jaden unique therapy, just on the grounds that he was a kid. However, at that point, Jaguar's new charges about Will and Jada, purportedly taking advantage of Jaden, makes you keep thinking about whether there was something else to Jaden's special therapy that meets the eye on the off chance that Willow was to be sure rebuffed for her activities. It sort of makes us keep thinking about whether Will and Jada totally distorted their nurturing style and lied about it. Since it sure appears to be like that, assuming that they were genuinely trying to do they said others should do, Will would have partaken in similar opportunities, unafraid of repercussions. There was a ton occurring in the background that we have hardly any familiarity with, and Jaguar was on it about Will and Jada not precisely being cherishing guardians. Take, for example, when Willow dropped her previously hit I Why My Head to and fro back in 2010 at the young age of 9, the tune was Wherever We A. As a whole, got to perceive how skilled Willow was even in those days. Yet here's the kicker Willow would even not like to do. The tune, she believed she was excessively youthful and wasn't prepared to deal with the strain of distinction. While still in primary school, she opened, dependent upon her father Will about it. Yet he fundamentally disregarded her interests and drove her into the studio. At any rate, I certainly needed to excuse, you and Daddy. You know, for that entire thing. It was for the most part Daddy, 'cause he was so similar to Brutal. Right at specific times, trust for not feeling like I wasn't paid attention to, or nobody tended to think about what I felt during that time, or see you. It wasn't so much that you didn't need it, just they weren't paying attention to how you believed that the experience should be. Currently at the time, Willow says that she realized without a doubt that she needed to be a vocalist, yet she needed to go slowly and finish school first. Willow was tied in by positioning her to be a definitive areola child without thinking often about what she truly needed. This adds a sufficient layer to the entire lip service point. Driving a 9-year-old into the music scene doesn't precisely line up with allowing them to do whatever they might feel like doing, and the consequence says a lot, following the hurricane arrival of My Hair. Willow has battled with her psychological prosperity as of late. She's fearlessly drilled down into grappling with a character emergency set off by her unexpected popularity, similar to in this ill-defined situation of like, who am I? Like, is there, like, do I have a reason? Like, is there any such thing I can do other than this yet? In the event that constraining her into the studio wasn't terrible enough, Will turned out to be significantly really controlling over Willow's vocation, despite the fact that she clarified that she needed to remain a kid and partake in our life as a youngster. Will and Jay weren't willing to pay attention to her, and they constrained her as a kid to go on visit with Justin Bieber for a month. It resembles they weren't in any event. Listening to her, Willow was upset to such an extent that she took this uncommon change in position by shaving her head to challenge her folks' firm grasp over her life. She wasn't whipping anything back forward. It's only grievous to envision that she was so harmed to arrive where she needed to shave her head as a demonstration of disobedience. It's so disturbing to believe that Will and Jada's fixation on cash eclipsed any worry for Willow's psychological prosperity. They ought to have known better, even their own encounters at the center of attention and the cost it takes on the kid. Yet in later meetings, Willow valiantly conceded that the tension of notoriety combined with the absence of help at home negatively affected her psychological wellness. It prompted gloom, pushing her towards self-damage of adapting. Fortunately, she figured out how to conquer despondency through long periods of treatment and figured out how to explore acclaim while safeguarding her psychological well-being. She likewise went with the striking choice to drop her last name, currently, basically going by Willow, as she connects her last name with the aggravation and injury of her initial years. Yet Willow wasn't the main Smith kid who needed to manage her folks' fixati. Nung on their vocation as a kid and compelling them to begin bringing in cash as a kid, exactly the same thing supposedly happened to Jaden in light of the fact that Will and Jada constrained him into acting at the time of just 8 years of age. His most memorable film was Quest for Bliss, And afterward, his significant film was The Karate Youngster, and it was a significant headed, yet very much like Willow. He wasn't precisely anxious to make a plunge in the Hollywood early in life, which is justifiable in light of the fact that around then he was 11 years of age. Yet very much like Willow, Will and Jada didn't appear to be too worried about Jaden's cravings, and they constrained him on set. Fortunately, this turned out great for Jaden in light of the fact that he found his balance on set and fell head over heels for acting. While there anyway on the grounds that he in the end got used to it, doesn't mean he pardoned his folks for compelling him into something that he didn't feel prepared for, reports S. How that Jaden felt deceived and lost trust in his folks' capacity to help him, yet hatred kept on putrefying until he in the end petitioned for liberation from the two of them at the young age of 15. During that period, sources guaranteed that Jaden held on to such a lot of disdain towards his folks that he was unable to stand by to grow up and acquire legitimate autonomy from them. He was anxious to break free and begin carrying on with life in his own particular manner, away from his folks' tyrannica. Well, control as per Jaguar. Right, lovely, insane. Will was fixated on fussing over his children's professions when they ought to have been partaking in their young lives. Dislike the Smiths were battling monetarily and required the additional money. Will and Jada appear to be more centered around their own desires, disregarding the cost it took on their kids, better believe it. Well, Jaguar certainly didn't keep down asserting that while Willow might have experienced because of her folks' activities, Jade. Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.